Hey, what's up guys? Irish Prepper 2A, and I have Remy with me today. If you hear some antics in the background, that's just him frolicking in the water. The river's a little bit high, but he should be okay. He's a good swimmer. Today is the day we're going to do the field test review on those dollar store items that I showed you last week. So if you remember, we had the backpacking stove. Unfortunately, that required fuel. So I picked this up. This was an additional $5 and change for this isobutane fuel cartridge. So, and couple that with the $15 backpacking stove, we'll see what happens. Also, what we're going to field test right now today is the watertight container, the cheap, Pelican dollar store thing. This was $5. One of the first things I noticed when I opened it up is, there is a lip here. There's a lip right here, and there's a gasket here. So hopefully that will form a watertight seal. Let's just see how tough this thing is and if it will hold up. So right now, I just want to, see if it'll hold up. I think that's a reasonable facsimile of a, mild drop. Falls out of your hand, you fall on a backpack. Let's go see what happened. All right, that looks like where it hit, right there on the corner. I don't see any cracks. I wouldn't imagine, or put it this way, I don't expect a $5 waterproof case to survive something much harsher than that. Yeah, it definitely hit right there on the corner. You can see that right there. So let's put something in here dry. Okay, so I'm just going to use old Washington here. Put that in there. Seal it up. And let's put this thing in the water and see what happens. Submerge it for a while, and then we'll move on to the stove. All right, so we're going to take the waterproof case. Let's get it good down in the water there. It's buoyant, I'll give them that. But I don't want buoyancy. I'm going to see how waterproof this thing is. So let's get this thing down in there. Probably going to put a rock on it. Okay, so we got the Pelican case completely submerged. I'm sorry guys, not a Pelican case, the dollar store knockoff of a Pelican case. It's completely underwater right there. So let's let that set a while with that stone on it and check out this stove. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check out this backpacking stove. I did open this earlier in the week just to see what I was going to have to deal with. Let's take a little bit of a look here. Wow, very compact. That's very compact. So let's see what we spent $15 on. Okay, nice case, decent case. I would imagine they were trying to make this waterproof, water resistant as well. It would appear that way, but before we actually field test it, I don't want to, try and dunk it. I really want to see if this thing will light, and then perhaps we'll test the durability of the case. And that's what we have, guys, right there. Looks like we have an ignition. There's an ignition switch right there, and a gas valve. I'm just gonna go ahead and, make the call that counterclockwise is open, clockwise is closed. And then we have the feet that will support your cooking implement. These legs are adjustable here. Let me show you. All right, guys, so as I was saying, this has, those little legs that will go in and out and either make your base a little bit wider or a little bit more narrow. And we'll go with the wide base for right now. That should be just about right. Let's get this screwed onto the fuel source and see how this thing lights. All right, so that is the assembled backpacking stove with the fuel canister. I can't smell any fuel leaking out of it, so I think we're good there. Now what's next is we have to turn the adjustment valve to on, then we'll hit the ignition switch and see what happens. All right, here we go, the moment of truth. Let's give this thing a little bit of fuel. Watch your face, buddy. Watch your face, buddy. And watch your face. Let's see if it lights. There it is. She's sparking the life. Well, I would have never thought it. Let's adjust the temp down a little bit lower. The only thing I'm wondering right now is you can see the igniter is glowing a little bit red. Oh yeah, definitely got a flame there. There it is. Yep, the flame is evident. It's catching that on fire. So I guess that's a good sign. Next, what we'll do is we will get the canteen cup and some good old prison ramen and fire and see if we can, just make a quick soup. Let's check it out. All right, so we put this on at approximately 13:53. It's now 13:57. I don't know if the hiss of the flame is picking up on camera, but it's certainly hot. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of bubbling action in there. All right, guys, we've achieved liftoff here, and it is now 2:03, so that took approximately 10 minutes with some temperature adjustments to get it to this level. Sorry about the camera angle. Let's go ahead and shut her down. Completely cutting off the fuel source. Yes, that is warm. Lift this up, put it down. Make sure that's off. I don't smell any fuel coming out of it, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the notion that it's off. I am a little bit worried about that ignition. I don't know how well that was built. That's that little piece right there. That little tube. You know, let's hope it was decently built. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and finish this ramen. Get some seasoning in it, let it cool down a little bit, and go from there. Get our seasoning packet going. This is chicken ramen. Good old-fashioned college, prison, whatever you want to call it. Chicken ramen. You can't go wrong with 43 cents a package, right? Your mileage may vary. So yeah, I mean, I think the ramen very hot right now. That needs to cool down, but 10 minutes with that little backpacking stove and we were done. Now the $1,000,000 question: will this light up again now that it burned that ignition tube? Let's check it out. So let's turn the gas back on. And try the ignition. And I know you can't see the flame in the camera, but it is there for sure. There we go. The proof is in the pudding. I would call that a success. So, now what do we do? Well, let's go back and see how our waterproof case held out that has been underwater since we did this whole cooking process. That is right back over here with the rock still on top. Come here. As I said, it's very buoyant, so I know there's air in there for sure. Let's see how old George made out. All right, here we go. Let's open it up. Now my hands are going to be a little bit wet because the case exterior is wet. But I see no evidence whatsoever of any liquid inside. That's all there is, completely dry. So is the interior of the case. So for a $5 waterproof case, not bad. Not bad at all. It's scuffed up from where it hit the rocks, but you know, in a pinch, that would work. Keep your matches, your lighter, you know, any important valuables you have dry. That will certainly work. I'm not disappointed. I've done worse things with $5. And lastly, we have the Paracord. Let's take a quick look. And we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inner strands. Would I recommend getting the Paracord for that price? It was $5 for that 50-foot spool. You can do better at Walmart or Harbor Freight. But if you can't get there, hey, you know, if your local Dollar General has something like that, pick some up. Yeah, that works just fine. So all right guys, that is the complete review of the dollar store survival gear for the 20-some dollars I spent. Well, no, a little over 20 after I had to factor in the fuel source for the stove. So let's just round it up to $30. For the $30 I spent for this stuff, not too bad. Not too bad at all. However, I must say, with this stove, those little teeth on there, they do absolutely nothing to help secure whatever cooking vessel you have on there. You have to make sure you're on extremely level ground. There can't be any tilt whatsoever. I almost lost the ramen several times just because I didn't have this at almost perfectly level. So yeah, you have to take precaution with that. But other than that, you know, I'm not disappointed in that $15 venture. So with all that being said, Irish Pepper 2A and my buddy Remy here, who's been a little bit of a disturbance during the video, but he's a good boy. Irish Pepper 2A and Remy, we're gonna sign off. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I hope you enjoyed the video. You guys take care.